Okay, can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Hello. I have a cat. I'm hoping this is working right. I'm still new. I'm still learning. Chat below. And again, I'm really new to this, so if this is like very kind of wonky, I apologize. I'm still trying to figure all the systems out. Okay, good. I just saw your comments that you can see me. So we'll go ahead and start talking about what we're reading. So, the first book that I have on my agenda for tonight is Four Ruined Realms by Mai Cortland. It is the second book in the Five Broken Blades series. A lot of people felt that Five Broken Blades was a little juvenile, which is, I mean, it makes sense. The book really was written by a children's author who decided to delve into fantasy. Oh, also, it's raining really hard here, so if I disappear, I lost power. So, what is everybody else reading? What are you guys working on getting through? Also, I'm going to turn another light on so you guys can see me a little bit better. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay. It is really raining here. Sorry, I know I'm really quiet. In an effort to respect everybody's time, I am going to go ahead and start the clock. The way it's going to work tonight is we're going to do 45 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of discussion, 45 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of discussion, and then depending how we're doing after the second sprint, we might do another third sprint. My goal is to go till 11 p.m. So for those who are going to be up that late, I would be happy to hang out with you until then. That's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that need to drop off, feel free to drop off at any point that works for you or your schedule. I'm just happy that you're here at all. So I will see you guys in 45 minutes.
Mic on.
Okay, how did everybody's reading go? I actually pivoted and started working on an arc that I'm reading instead. It is part of the Road of Bones series. It is the novella that Demi Winters is writing for one of the characters in the book. It is called Roots of Darkness, and I managed to read about 30 pages. How has everybody else's reading been going? What are you reading? What did you get done? How many pages? Interested in hearing all of it. Oh, you made a TBR jar. Did you use just like a regular mason jar or did you use something else for it? Oh, thank you, Allison. It's actually not quite done. I'm in the middle, so I've got all my books on here, but I've got like some Legos and stuff that I haven't built yet. And the rest of my room really needs to be organized, but this little section here looks good, so I thought it would look pretty for the books or for the background, and I'll be using it for some of my YouTube videos as well that I made. Okay, Sarah, you've read 2 chapters of your book, so how much more do you have left in your book then? Because I know you were reading it last, well, that was only a couple days ago, but how far have you gotten into that one? And Allison, what are you reading? I don't think I saw that in the chat. In a bowl until you find a jar. That's funny. I have seen people, they go to like Target and they go to the dollar spot and they find like those little, they have like little glass jars in the dollar spot for like $3, $4, and they use those and then make the papers a little bit smaller for that. So that might be an option for you if you want to do that. Oh, that's right. Okay, I see, Allison. You did say you were going to read Sunrise on the Reaping. That's what book number 6, because I believe she had another one come out before this. Also, there is a cat, so if you see her moving around, she's just hanging out. Okay. How many acts are in that book, Sarah? Is there like 5 or is it 3? Interesting that the first act ends when she publishes Sense and Sensibility. I wonder if they talk about like any of her other books that she published after that or anything that she did. Also, if you guys haven't read the Road of Bones books by Demi Winters, I would highly recommend them. They are fantasy, but they're kind of more fantastical realism. They're set more in like our world with magical elements, and Demi Winters is very a very fantastic writer, and it's her debut series. I can't wait to see what else she writes, to be quite honest. So I would recommend it. Sarah, Allison says it's so good I can't put it down. There's one more prequel from a few years ago. Okay. Yeah, I think I asked about that in a different chat. Someone else I saw was reading that book. I have not read The Hunger Games since probably college, so it's been like 15 years, but I also I didn't finish those books because I was very frustrated with what happened. So I feel like with Hunger Games, with Divergent series, and then there was one other series. Oh, the Twilight series. I never finished any of those three because I was really frustrated with things that happened in the series. So I ended up not finishing most of them. So I'm thinking that I will probably have to go back and start over. Maybe I'll make that a goal for later this year to read those series again. Okay, so three acts altogether. Second is about writing. Third is later years in her life. Okay. Well, I bet the second act is going to be really fun. I would like to really understand more about her writing and all of that stuff. Her stuff is, I mean, it's classic. It's always going to be really great. And the reason I keep looking down is because I have you all on my phone so I can see your messages. I I'm still learning how to set it all up on my computer so that I can see everything. And I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but for now I'm just making it work. Also, what do you guys think about? I think we talked about this last week. Does 45 minutes of reading seem too short? Does it seem too long? Is it like a good break time? I do 45 minutes because I can't just sit and read that long. I feel like if I go longer than that, I end up like kind of like zoning out. So if that doesn't work for you guys, like, the whole point of this is for it to be enjoyable for everybody. So, as Sarah says, I feel like even with the TBR jar, I would still try to pull out what I wanted or was in the mood for. Yeah, I think I could see that. I actually was a lot of these books here I actually haven't read or I read a long time ago and need to reread. So I need to sit down and make a TBR jar. It's on my list of things to do, but the first thing that I want to do now that all the books are in here is I want to go through and catalog them all and then kind of get a better picture of how many books I have because there's been a few occasions recently where I actually was like, I have no idea if I have this book or if I've purchased this book from we call her my dealer, but from my local indie bookstore owner. So I have no idea if, I even have one of the books that's for book club this month. So stream stream setups are always hard at first. I think 45 minutes is great. Okay. Yeah, I think 45 is good. And I also, I'd like to remind you guys like this is kind of for you, whatever you want to do. If you want to read for 45 minutes and then get up for 15 and take a break, go to the bathroom, get some water, get a snack. It's about snack time for some of us. Um, Definitely feel free to do that. You can also, it is meant to be productivity as well. So there's been, times when I've joined productivity sprints and worked on other things like my blog or my Instagram, which I'll probably do some of that after like this break. I have some posting I want to do on my Bookstagram. So I'm working on all of that. Um, and the interesting thing too, Allison, is I have done one stream on Twitch before, and streaming on Twitch and streaming on YouTube are a little bit different, I think. From what I can understand, I feel like I need to watch some more videos to kind of get a better understanding of how this all works. But I also would like to look at changing. So I bought one of those little mics um that clips to your shirt versus having a headset on because I do get a headache if I wear this for too long. Okay. Danielle says, "Yeah, all mine are mystery thriller almost, and I didn't put any in there, and I'm not excited to read." Oh, Aiden just joined. Hey, Aiden, we're on our first break. We've only done one sprint so far, but we're just talking about what we read, and I am getting some feedback from everybody for timing. And then we were talking about the TBR jar that Danielle made during the first sprint. Okay. Sarah says, when I'm reading, I try to do a little longer versus when I'm doing work, like organizing, grading students' work. I sometimes only get about 30 minutes before a break. Yeah, so I think I'm the same way for my work too. I have found if I do like sprinting while I'm working, I tend to get more done. But the interesting thing about that is I find myself once I kind of get into the zone at work, I tend to just keep going. I do for my day job, I work in privacy healthcare compliance. So a lot of the work I do is researching privacy incidents. So it's if I can like focus, I can get a lot more done. The problem with that though is I tend to hyperfixate and then I like lose track of time. So it's finding the balance there. But I do think when I'm working 30 minutes to 35 minutes is better. But when I'm reading, I can sit and read, like you said, for a lot longer. Okay. Aiden, did you share what you were reading? I can't remember. You have the same giant Hedwig. Oh, the Funko Pop up here. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to take Hedwig out of the box. The interesting thing is I have like the Hedwig Lego too. So I'm trying to figure out if I can get them both like kind of on the same shelf, but I have to build this one first. I haven't done that yet. So it's on my to-do list. I've got, my husband and I both love Legos, so we buy Legos probably more often than we should, but I really love building them. It's a good tactile thing to do, especially when I'm feeling really overwhelmed or my anxiety is really bad. So I've got two basically big Hedwigs I've got to put up, but I'm also trying to find a way to like have like all of my Harry Potter stuff in one spot. And then I have like all of like I like Hello Kitty a lot, so I have Hello Kitty stuff like on a shelf over there, which you can't see. And then I do collect some Stanley cups, so my very special Stanleys are over there. They're still in the original boxes. I won't use them because they're the kind that can't be replaced. So um, I do love a good cup. Back after this and in between bookstore. Is the in between bookstore, is that like a blue? I think it's a blue cover, right? I think. I remember your pile from the other day. I just don't remember which one. I think one of my friends just read it too. So dark blue. Okay. That's what I thought. I remembered it being like really dark. Okay. Is it good? Do you like it? What about back after this? Are you okay, you're really liking that one. The exclamation point. Is so what is it like? Like what is it about? Well, I guess if you don't want to type it too, we can talk more about it tomorrow, but I am really curious to hear what you think. You like them both. Okay. Also, if anybody is else has like a YouTube or has anything and they want to like sprint or do something like this together, I'm totally fine doing like a joint stream type thing, or you know having more frequent virtual silent book club meetings. I'm totally fine doing that too. I'm really trying to slow down in the evenings because I get super busy and then I get overwhelmed and stressed, so I'm trying. And Danielle and I signed up for another readathon this month, which is called Escape the Readathon. And essentially you're on a cruise ship and there's like a bunch of different rooms, the doors are locked, and you have to like submit books to open the door, and then once the doors open there's like a puzzle you have to do, but it's a team event. So that started today, so the two books that I had picked up for today for the sprint are part of they meet two of the criteria, so I'm pretty excited for that. But I'm also like looking at my schedule going, wow, I have so many books to read. Hopefully I can make the ones that I have picked out for the month meet that criteria as well. So if you guys want some information about signing up for that one, just let me know. And we also have the amazing readathon coming up too. So make sure to check out Bree at Four Paws in a Book. She's the one who's hosting all of that. And they're both being run very, very, like really great. I love both of them so far. So, I mean, it's only day one of Escape the Readathon, but so far I'm really enjoying it. Okay. We are wrapping up our first break. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute myself and switch over to the next screen. And I will talk to you all in 45 minutes. Thanks. Okay, welcome back, everybody. How was that sprint going for you? I have acquired a cat. He is gonna be kind of out of view, but Fry is here joining us for the at least this sprint. He's probably gonna leave soon. He's probably hungry and will start bothering me for food here soon. But I read a total of 35 pages of my novella during that break, so that was really good. Oh, I just realized, Aiden, I got it in my head that we had a silent book club tomorrow, but it looks like we do not. I mean, we can definitely do like a bonus reading sprint if you guys want to do another one tomorrow night. I don't have any plans as well. I have some plans, but I don't know how late they're going to go. I will say about the book that I'm reading is I didn't realize that it was jumping timelines, but it's weird because the timeline jumps are like it's like a week. I thought there was a bigger jump than that. So I got a little bit confused. I had to reread a chapter, but so far it's going really good. I missed the last meeting as well. Was it last Friday? I'm getting all turned around because we had a meeting last week and then we also had one unofficial one on Monday this week. I mean, I'm totally fine scheduling another round of unofficial meetings if you guys want to do that. So, how did everybody's sprint go? How many pages did you guys read? Or what did you get done during that time? I did get up at one point to go talk to my husband for a minute and use the bathroom because I didn't um, go on the last break. So, yeah, so it looks like there's a couple people down for a reading or a sprint tomorrow. So maybe I don't well, probably won't do something like this. We can probably just do like an ad hoc meeting like we did before if you guys want to do that. Sarah says that she read one more chapter and then got distracted by her dog needing a snack and potty break. Yeah, dogs tend to do that. Um, Allison read a few more chapters, but got up to do bedtime routine. You're do so much better than I do. Aiden read 25 pages of Back After This, and the lead characters exchanged most embarrassing stories. Was there anything salacious in the stories, or is there, I mean, were they funny or was it kind of just like cringe? I don't even know what, if I said what was my most embarrassing story, I don't even know what I would say. Probably when I fell down. So when I was in high school, we had uniforms. So keep that in mind. But I fell down the bleachers and landed with my legs in the air and my skirt up around my waist. And oh, that's funny. You woke up your cat. I That is so true, Sarah. Secondhand embarrassment from characters is so funny. There's like books that I've read where the character does something and I'm like, "Oh, why did you do that? That's so awkward." But so the interesting thing about the story that I'm reading is it is just a little novella from the perspective, or it's all about like one character that's in the other stuff, the other stories. And she is one of my favorite characters, so I was really excited when Demi Winter said that she was going to do this. But I also am like sad because I feel like we're really only focusing on like one little tiny part of her life. And I wish that, and maybe this will happen. I'm about halfway done, but I really wish that we knew more about like her past, because I feel like there's more to the story, whereas like this is just taking place over like a 2 week period, and her character is pretty complex. So I'm hoping as the story continues on that we'll be able to read like more, or I'll be able to learn more about her. Her name is Hecla. She's a pretty cool character. Um, oh, Aiden says, me too. Oh my gosh, Jackie, that must have been awful. Honestly, the only thing that was bruised was my ego. I was fine. And I never wore a skirt after that. I only wore pants or skirts to prevent that. And yes, cheesy romance books do give me secondhand embarrassment too. I read the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I don't know if you guys have read that. Sorry, that's my alarm. Um, and there were some scenes in that book, man, where I was like, "What are you doing, sir? Like you're behaving like a fool." It was just like very like blah, and you're kind of just waiting for them to get together. But I do have the rest of the series, and I'm going to read more of it. So sometimes you just need a little bit of cheesy in your life. So especially if you read like a lot of serious books. Since it's the first of the month, and I just realized that, but does everybody have like a plan for what they want to read? Are you guys going in like completely blind for the month? I've got a little bit of a schedule because I'm well, I'm doing the readathon, and then I'm also doing like a couple of buddy reads with my friend, because there's more books that we have to finish. And yes, Allison, Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I'm glad I read it. It was a really cute book, but I just like the whole book. I mean, there's slow burn and then there's slow burn. Like it felt like I was just reading about this insecure man the whole book. That being said, I did really enjoy it. It's just like, my lord, come on, dude. So I think you have no real plan. Allison has no real plan other than to work through more of her TBR. Yeah, so I have quite a large TBR, but right now my plan is to finish this novella that I'm reading on my Kindle. I'm going to be reading Four Ruined Realms, which is the second book in the Five Broken Blades series. I'm doing that as a buddy read. Um, and then I also have on my agenda The Neverlist, which is a fantasy book club read. And then I also have a few like other book club reads that are maybe not as mainstream books, which I'm pretty excited about. And then I just pulled some books like that meet the categories for the Escape the Readathon categories. And so I'm using some of the books that I already had planned for that, and then also using um, just some, like one of them is like a book that matches your outfit. So like obviously I wasn't going to start that book today, so I'm going to pick the book based on what I'm wearing when I'm ready to start that book. So Aiden says a Golden Girls cozy mystery just came out that I'm trying to convince a bunch of friends to read and continue my dozen book library stack. What is the name of this book, Aiden? Because one, I love a cozy mystery, and two, I love the Golden Girls. So I definitely need to know all about this. And Sarah said, trying to work through my TBR without adding anything to it. Much easier said than done. Yeah, so for me, I know over the next like 2 months, I've got probably 3 or 4 books that are coming out. So I read The Wren in the Holly Library last year. Murder by Cheesecake. Okay. I read the Ren and the Holly Library last year and I really like that book. So the second one for that is coming out in June. And then I'm trying to think what else is coming out. It came out last month, but the newest Emily Henry book, Great Big Beautiful Life, came out, and I started that one. It was really good. Yeah, let me know, Aiden, when you want to start that because I might try to add it to my schedule or see if it works for one of the prompts for the readathon that I'm doing because I would love to do that. Maybe just send either comment below what the book is called, and I'll check out see if I can get it on my Kindle. I sorry, I have background noise. And then um us thank you, Aiden, and to my TBR. Or if you want to, maybe we could plan like a sprint where we focus only on that one book. If you want to do something like that, I could do a video. Ren and the Holly Library. So the second book, it's the oak in the let me tell you 1 second. The second Ren in the Holly Library is called The Robin on the Oak Throne. If I'm correct, this is a duology, so there won't be any more. It's just going to be the two books. But I will say it's kind of interesting. So that one was just fantasy. It wasn't claimed as romance or romantasy. And there is definitely a scene in the Ren and the Holly Library that I would classify as romantasy. In fact, it was probably about as graphic as Court of Silver Flame is where I would combine that. So keep something, keep that in mind if you're going to read the series that there are scenes. I don't really have any problem with that. I don't mind scenes like that, but um the Run in the Holly Library did not mention anything about it and the scene is pretty spicy. So, the other there's one other book. I can't think of it. I got to look at my schedule. Oh, A Curse Carved in Bone. So that is the second book to A Fate Inked in Blood. That comes out the day after my birthday on May 13th. I did get that as so the book of the month, if you are BFF status, you get a free book, like add-on book for the month of your birthday. So I did get A Curse Carved in Bone for free as part of my birthday gift from them. So I'll be reading that. I think that's going to be in June, if I'm correct, because I am reading that for where my local bookstore has they call it, but wait, there's more, but secretly we call it Slappy Seconds. And the whole point of the book club is to read the sequels and books. So like the the Robin on the Oak Throne, A Curse Carved in Bone, Things Gods Break, which is the second to Games Gods Play. Those are all books that we'll be reading as the 4 sloppy seconds. So, yeah, I definitely blushed, Aiden, when I read that scene. I mean, I don't have any issue with there being scenes like that in books. I think it just threw me off because it kind of fell out of left field a little bit. Um, yeah, it felt very much out of left field for me. Uh, though I will say I actually liked the urban setting of that one. I know some people didn't, but I do. That's one thing I like about Crescent City, and what I liked about that is I do like the urban fantasy piece of it. I kind of like that technology is involved in both of them. It's kind of an interesting twist for me. So, okay, so I am planning to do one more sprint. The next sprint will be 45 minutes and then we'll do a quick wrap up at the end. So I'm probably gonna go basically for another hour. That's my goal is to go until 11 p.m. my time. So wherever you are, I'm Eastern time. So wherever you are, accommodate that. And if you have any questions or concerns in the meantime, just shoot me a comment. I am monitoring on my phone. And then I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody accomplishes over the next 45 minutes. Talk to you soon. Okay, how was everybody's sprint? That is our last sprint for the night, so I've put up the stream ending screen, but I would like to hear how everybody's sprint went. I read another about 40 pages of my book. I have about 40 to go, so I'm hoping after I sign off here, I'm going to go lay down for bed, but I'm hoping I'll finish it. It's very possible I will just fall asleep. I will say, kind of interesting twist in my book. So for those that just joined, I am reading Roots of Darkness by Demi Winters. It is a novella about one of the characters from the main story. Um, Her name is Hecla. Hecla is a very strong character. She's also got a disability. So it's kind of cool how Demi does a really good job of putting um, representation for different people without making like a big deal out of it. It's just kind of part of who she is. Um, it, the it's kind of interesting. I don't want to say too much in case anybody is planning to read this, but there is a spot where she's talking to a squirrel, which is a twist I wasn't quite prepared for. It was a little bit weird, to be honest, but I understood why. So now I just really want to know what's going to happen because we found out what's going on, but now we don't know how it's going to resolve. So I am pretty excited to see kind of how that pans out. Aiden says, "Hi, Beth. The final sprint was good. I switched to in between bookstore." Beth said, "I had a good sprint. I joined halfway through. I'm reading Paranoia by James Patterson. It's a new release. Um, I have, I don't know that I've read that one. How long ago did that come out, Beth?" And Sarah says, "Went well. I'm almost 25%. Would love to continue, but will also probably stop for the night and head to bed now." Yeah, that's kind of the tough thing is it's almost 11 o'clock here. So it's like I could stay up, try to finish this book. I have, according to my Kindle, I have about 37 minutes left, which is not terrible, but that would keep me up a little bit later. So I'm trying to decide, if I know myself, if I lay down in bed, I'll just fall asleep once I start reading, which isn't necessarily bad, but I do want to finish it today. Uh, Aiden says, "Your book sounds interesting, Jackie. Ooh, James Patterson is fun." And Sarah Ann, "I hear you about heading to bed. So hard to put down a good book, though." Yeah, I definitely agree. It's the tough thing, especially because I really love Demi Winter's books. Putting her down is going to be kind of tough. And it is an arc, so I would like to get it done and reviewed for her because she did send it out early. So I'm excited for that. The interesting thing about this one is, excuse me, she is just publishing it herself. She's like doing her own publication because it is a novella and not part of the main series. So I'm curious to see if it looks anything like her other books. The cover looks really similar, but what I don't know is if they are going to be like, here's the first book in the series. So uh, So I know the art is pretty similar, but what I don't know is if she's doing a hardcover, if it's only going to be an ebook. I'm not really sure how that's all going to work, but the she did tell us I joined like a book club and she was there and she told us that the artist who created the artwork for her first two books sadly passed away. So she's not sure um they're not going to be doing the art for her. So she's, found someone that can do something comparable, but she's also trying to be honoring to that person. So from what I can tell so far from the cover of this one, it is a very similar style. but there are a little bit of differences. Beth says it came out February 2025. You got it from the library. That's good. Sarah Ann says sometimes I switch to listening and try to fall asleep, but I usually end up wanting to keep listening and then force myself awake. Yeah, I can't do audiobooks or like podcasts when I go to bed because people talking just puts me right to sleep. I actually can't do podcasts like in the morning either if I'm driving to work. They just make me sleepy. I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to books, but for whatever reason, I can't fall asleep to those. And then I know there's people out there that listen to like murder podcasts as they're going to sleep, which is crazy to me. But well, I think that's probably where I'm gonna wrap up. It is 10:59. So this is only my third stream. I did a Saturday night and then I did last Thursday and then today. I would really like to try to have a weekly schedule. That is the goal, to do similar to what I did today. Um, Thursday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., 45, 15 pomo sprints. Um, Next week is going to be a little bit interesting because I am hosting a virtual silent book club for my local chapter. If you are interested in joining that, just let me know. We use um, book clubs is the website to meet. And for those that are in the virtual book club, if you guys want to join that meeting, that's totally fine. We are hosting that Thursday, but that is running from 8 to 9:30. So I might try to overlap both and do some sprints here and then also join the virtual silent book club for my local chapter. Um, okay. Beth says she loves sprints. Yeah, I love sprinting too. Sprints are really great. It forces me to focus and I use it for work. We were talking about that earlier in the stream. I use it for work too. It helps me stay on task. But so right now the plan is to, if I don't do next Thursday, I will definitely do probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And do again the same thing, a 3 hour sprint cycle. As I mentioned before, I am new, so I'm having technical issues. I'm still learning new things, but ultimately the goal is to just have a place for people who also want to read together. If you like what you saw at the stream today, I am publishing my very first video tomorrow on YouTube. It should be going up at noon Eastern Eastern time. The video is going to talk about me, a little bit about me, a little bit about my goal for the stream, and then it's also going to talk about what I read in April and kind of discuss the 4 books that I did finish last month. So if you're interested in watching that, definitely stop by the channel tomorrow at noon Eastern time and watch the video. And I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me there. If you don't, that's fine. I appreciate everybody taking time out of their evening to join me. I appreciate your support and I look forward to seeing you guys all soon. Thanks.